If you had a Bankai, what would it be?
This is not how we're starting it.
What would your Bankai be? Isn't it crazy, though?
What? What would my Bankai be?
No. One, how would I know that part's crazy?
Oh, I don't know. What's crazy?
How is it possible that the one captain can just drop his sword and it doesn't even become a sword anymore? It just explodes into rose petals. I was thinking about that.
Hi, you're listening to Adults Talking Anime Plus, a place where adults talk anime, video games, cosplay, and whatever else we want. I'm Inga.
And I'm Thor.
And we are your resident adults. Today, on Adults Talking Anime, we are going to keep it broad and we're doing action animes.
Keeping it broad, not talking about girls. No broads in this conversation.
Okay, so action animes, which I can be the you of this week and say, aren't they all action animes?
Definitely not, because romance, no action.
That's not true. We'll start.
What are you attacking?
I'm gonna attack you right now.
Romance anime, no.
Listen to this. Okay, what do you consider Kaguya-sama Love is War?
I considered it a rom-com.
Okay, but guess what? I was just reading a list of action animes.
Did you write the list?
I didn't.
You're
I
wrong.
should have written it,
Yeah,
but
if you wrote
I
the list,
didn't.
I think your list would be wrong.
No. So but guess what was on that list?
I think they're wrong.
Kaguya-sama.
I think they're wrong.
Love is War. Why? And I get why they put it on the list. Because there's a little bit of action up in there.
No.
Is it dramatic? No.
But
there's
we're not
action.
talking about dramas.
I'm just saying.
No, that doesn't count. Next.
Oh my gosh! I hope you write to this person who wrote this article and tell them that they're wrong.
I hope they gave their address out.
They did. When I pull it back up on the website, I'll let you know, and you can go and tell them they're wrong.
Next. What's your next one?
That's not even one of my ones.
Okay.
I didn't even say. First of all, you didn't even ask me. I didn't even tell you if there was going to be a Q in anime. And I was going to say, sorry to disappoint you. I guess not.
All right. The question is, do you think there's ever going to be a lacrosse sports anime? Q and anime.
Hilarious. I wish. We should write that. I don't think there is one. Would lacrosse be an interesting anime? Hells yeah.
Yeah.
Hells yeah. That would be such a
Just
cool...
for the people, we both played lacrosse.
We did. Yeah, I actually went to college.
We got Long Island blood.
We do have Long Island blood.
And you know why that matters?
Why?
Because 1 in 3 Major League Lacrosse players came from the island of Long Island.
I'm going to choke.
The longest island that there is.
But also...
Yeah, but also... yeah, but also
But
what?
also...
But also what?
I don't know. I don't know what I was even
That was
gonna...
a fun fact I said, and you wanted to poo-poo it.
I did.
You wanted to poo-poo it.
I did. I did, but I didn't. I didn't have anything to back it up with.
Okay. What sports anime do you want most?
This is... How is this... Is this an actual Q and anime?
Yeah.
Oh boy. What sports anime do I want
Incidentally,
most?
would it make sense if I did a Dekuthalon? It'd be 10 events, all related to what Deku's done. And that would be my competition, a Dekuthalon.
Oh my gosh.
Would you watch it? Sports anime.
I cannot.
I'll do a 10-part YouTube series.
Uh-huh.
Go on.
What? Whoa. You had a monster for the first time in 9 years. Is it hitting you? Is it really kicking in yet?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think so. Okay. I don't even know where to go from here since we're not having a Q and anime.
I've already started it. These are my cues.
Got it.
Give me my animes.
Shit. What sports anime would I like to see?
Shot put.
No, I would definitely not want to see that.
Understood.
Boring.
Diving.
Diving, I don't know. There's an anime called Free, and apparently it's really good. It's about swimming.
But are they diving from the hideout?
I have no idea. I've never watched it. I like that this is an action anime episode. And you're asking me about sports. Oh.
Q and anime. Q and anime.
Oh, action can be taken many different ways.
I guess if you were talking about romance, I know that is another type of action. Kaguya-sama, Love is War.
I don't know. Do you want to hear what my action animes are?
Yeah.
How many did you want?
5.
Oh man, I got more than 5.
Okay.
Well, not really. I do. I got a couple of joke ones on there. I don't. They're not jokes. They're real. Okay, so one of mine is actually Angel of Death.
Okay.
Did you watch Angel of Death?
I don't think so.
Ooh.
Tell me all about it.
Right now?
Yeah,
or should I just
right now?
No, I don't want to sell you on it.
Tell me it.
First of all, it's really good, and I don't remember when it came out. I think it came out 2 years ago, I want to say, and it is based on a game. And the main character, Rachel, wants to die the entire time, and so she's trapped in this building, and there's all these different levels, and each level has a quote-unquote angel, and basically that angel is supposed to kill the person who ends up on that level. So I don't know how it all works out, but basically she meets this guy Zach, I think on level 1 or 2, and each person who's the angel has pretty much done like horrible things in their life at some point. That's why they're the quote unquote angels. Like he killed his stepfather, but also he likes stabbing people. He carries around a scythe, but something ends up happening. Rachel has these like very dead looking eyes, and he wants to get out. So she says to him that she'll help him get out of the house.
I think I've absolutely seen this.
Are you sure? It's a couple years old. And she tells him she'll help him get out of the house if he promises to kill her.
Yeah. And
it's based on a horror game. And I don't know. I was actually just watching it recently again because I realized I had not finished it. Per usual. And I was like, this was pretty good, but it's very intense. I also like the fact that at the end of every episode, it says something like, Zach, you're my god, or like it just writes it out, which is very Vampire Knight. And I don't know if you guys know my thing with Vampire Knight. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And at the end of every episode, they say, I'll show you another sweet dream. It's a weird trope. I just like it. Okay, so that's one of mine.
Did you know that while I was listening to that story, all I could think of was Tower of God, because I'm a huge Tower of God stan. And I wish that the Rachel in Tower of God
wanted to die.
Would want to have that same mindset. Incidentally, she's also going through levels. I'm wondering why people aren't getting, why they're not trying to kill her more.
That's hilarious.
So that's all I heard. You talked to me about Rachel. I've been reading about her for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I never liked her. Yeah, next one.
Okay. My next one is Magi, The Adventures of Sinbad.
That's so cool.
Have you not thought, you've seen it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody should watch Magi. It's on Netflix. It's been on Netflix for years. There's actually Magi,
the Prince Sinbad.
No, that's the one I'm talking about, but okay. I think the other one is, which comes before it. It's either just like Magi or...
I thought it was Magi. Isn't that his name?
Oh, no. Magi or Magi.
But I thought they call him Magi.
Oh, no.
In the show, right?
They might.
Okay, let's keep going.
No, because now everybody's going to be like, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
I don't think there's wrong ways to pronounce things.
There is. There's 100% absolutely wrong ways to say words.
I mean, the sentence you said, irrefutable. But the point I'm trying to make, still valid. I don't think that there's a wrong way, because I'm willing to learn. I just don't think I'm going to find out right now.
I mean, I appreciate you making me feel less dumb, I guess?
Like, in the first day of class, when people are going through attendance and the teacher's reading your name.
Yeah.
And they were to say it wrong, and your name is crazy on paper.
It is. And yeah.
They try to say
I hate it,
your
though.
name.
I almost wish they wouldn't.
Well, they can't give up. They need to do still, you just can't get marked as absent. But are you upset at the person for trying? They can say your name. I can't even say your name. If I were to do a roll call right here, I would say Thor, present. And then I would go,
You know how to say my name.
Not properly. Ingibjörg?
It's Ingibjörg.
Björk.
Yeah, what are you? You're not even Icelandic.
No.
You can't even say it.
No.
How can you be named Thor and not say Ingibjörg? Anyway, that's a weird...
This.
Okay. All right. Also, hey guys, just a reminder, we are also just streaming the podcast on YouTube. It comes out a few days earlier. If you want to hop on over to the YouTube channel and, I don't know, watch what's happening.
We're live.
It's not crazy, but it can be. Like, Thor was just flexing for everybody.
I was.
He was just flexing for no reason.
No, there was a reason. And the people on camera, the people watching,
they needed to see that flex.
They knew.
Okay. I feel like this should be a going back and forth. All right, another one. We're going popular, and you know what's crazy? That we don't talk about this more on the show. My Hero Academia.
I know, that's what I was going to bring up. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, like, how wild that the first episode, and then a little bit of sprinkling of My Hero Academia, even though I love My Hero Academia, we barely talk about it.
It's because...
It's so popular.
And it's at the point where, in its time, and I've addressed that I read ahead, but it's given me enough time over the past 2 years while I was reading ahead and the anime's catching up to where I read, that I was able to think about a lot of things.
And you're just not as obsessed anymore?
I'm obsessed. I love it. But I'm able to nitpick.
Mm.
And I'm mainly able to nitpick about how bad of a hero All Might is. This is dangerous.
I know, because the My Hero stands are wild.
On a real note, think about it for a moment.
No, I hate it. I'll never agree with it. I love All Might. He's one of my favorites.
All Might was in town to look at the person that he was supposed to give his ability to. They were grooming these kids.
Yep.
And Mirio was the guy. Phenomenal ability. You couple that with
Isn't
just
really
his sense
that
of justice.
good of an ability. It's a
not.
very
It's the fact
hard
that the fact that he mastered it over a period of time because he was not a strong candidate coming in.
Yeah.
He was getting tutored by All Might's first sidekick.
Yes. Nighthawk.
And all
Night-Eye.
he had to do was just finish that mission. Instead, he knew he only had a certain amount of time to save people. He went around and did basic, like, random errands, because there was heroes around, and he was still fighting crime.
Yeah.
And then, finally, when there was a legitimate issue, he ran out of his ability because he was irresponsible with it throughout the day. Because he just couldn't stop heroing.
I know. I mean, what does that say about him, though?
Immature.
He's not young.
You gotta get your job. You have to do your job. There's plenty of old people who are bad at their jobs. I'm just gonna say, like, All Might, very talented. Love his mindset. Love the fact that he works really hard. Awesome. Those are great qualities. But legitimately, you had one job, and that was to set up the next generation.
Yeah.
Instead, there's this gap area where they were in real trouble. Like, if One for All...
Yeah.
Wait.
All for One.
All for One is bad. Yeah, so if All for One decided to attack, like, legitimately 2 months prior...
Yeah.
I mean, Deku's not ready. He's advancing at, like, a breakneck pace in order to keep up with, like, the bad stuff that's happening.
Yes.
But, I mean, that attack cripples everybody, because All Might cannot fight for, like, 6 minutes at that point in time.
It is crazy how short of a period he can only be a hero for.
I mean, again, I love Deku, and there's no fault to Deku. He's just a guy who wants to become a hero, and I love that. And he went out there, and he tried to save...
His Bakugo?
Yeah, he tried to save Bakugo, but Bakugo's not in trouble. If All Might just does his job... Like, that should have just been another day for Deku. He should have just gone... I mean, he already got into UA, so I don't know what he was going to do there.
Oh, yeah, he did submit to UA. I mean, apparently, as we found out just recently, a lot of regular people go to UA.
They keep coming.
So, and they
How did they get past that test, though?
No. They don't... They're not in the hero course. So, think of it as a magnet school. And how, like, some kids are on the science track. And some kids are on the art track.
Hey, guys. Go out there and study STEM. We're going to take this moment just to talk about the sciences, technology.
And with that, we'll talk about another science. I haven't watched it at all, though. What is that new anime called? Scientific experimentation of something?
I feel like you're making that up as you go.
No, it's a real thing. I keep scrolling past it on Crunchyroll, and I'm like, I should watch this, and then I don't. But speaking of science, Dr. Stone is on my list.
As action?
Yeah, that dude is crazy. The human gorilla, the high school gorilla?
Yeah, the
high
school's
school
most primate high schooler.
Yes.
Japan's
him.
most primate high schooler.
Yeah, what an insane name, too. What an insane name. That guy is terrifying.
Cue an anime. What would your high school's most blank attribute be?
Most beloved.
Wow.
Not at all. I feel like...
spicy.
I like that throwback. No, I don't know. You know what? Here's my real question. No, here's my real answer. You know how... Maybe this isn't real.
Sure.
I'm going to just tell people
Tell
this,
me the
though.
fake answer, then.
No. So you know how in Japan they have idols?
Yeah.
Okay, but like in school, I think, and all of my knowledge is coming off of anime, so I'm sorry. I'm going to preface this with, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But that they have idols. So like in school, they have I guess I'm assuming they have a thing called the idol track. I don't know. Or is the idol just the most popular person? Because, like, isn't sometimes the student council president is, like, an idol? Or are these actual... Because they have schools. Am I making this up? Is any of this real? Because if it is true, I wish I would have been an idol.
I know at one point there was a 48-person idol group. They've got to get them from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I would just think that talent agencies are a lot more active.
I guess, but I also think they do have these things called idol tracks.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of competitive
And there's
schools
like a lot of schools that like that people who maybe, but I don't even think idol in the plain sense of like singing and dancing. I think idol and they're just so popular.
I think that they all sing and dance.
Okay.
Yeah,
I should look into this.
Yeah, you should.
Somebody else, don't make me look into it. Tell me in the comments down below. Is this real? Did I just make this all up?
Yeah.
Is this not a thing, or is it a thing?
I think it's a thing, as in, like, there's special, like, art schools.
Well, I think it's the same thing with voice, but I think it's more prevalent. I think they literally have tracks where, like, you can say at a young age, I want to be, I guess for us it's like an actor or an actress, but they're like, I want to be an idol, so they can actually go to school. Obviously, it falls off if you've never gained popularity, because this also, again, all strictly comes from anime, but I think they have voiceover tracks, too. People who want to become voiceover artists. How do they do it? I think they go through this schooling, and if it works out, they voice a lot of characters.
I really think it's very similar.
Like in America?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's more specialized, and I think that's why it's better.
Know. I feel like actors that go to, like, Juilliard and Tisch...
always just become actors?
Kind of. Or something in the field, like, especially, like, the ones that are doing Broadway.
Wrong.
Oh, my gosh.
There's so many Broadway actors who will only maybe
The ones that went to Tisch?
Maybe. I don't know who will only ever just do Broadway and never...
What I'm saying is they're performers, and then they go to these other avenues, and that's why you see them in other areas.
Let me know in the comments down below if anything I said was true.
Okay, disregard everything I said.
That's all I want to know. Is anything I said true? I guess, yeah, Dr. Stone's on my list of action animes.
Okay.
What was that, 4?
Yeah, sure.
I think, I had a couple more. I'm going to say Boruto, because I want to talk about...
Why would you do Boruto instead of Naruto?
I'm just...
And, oh my gosh, I'm going to do another unpopular opinion. Boruto, I finally watched some episodes, and all they were doing were playing cards.
That's so...
Like, a bunch, though. And I missed... Then I left... I stopped watching Boruto for like 2 weeks, and then they were playing cards again. So, Boruto is basically, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! It's set in the Naruto universe.
So funny. You're right. No, I'm kidding. That's it.
There's 2 card arcs in Boruto.
That's so funny.
And that's plot line.
Yeah, I think it is. I just don't. Here's my biggest thing about Boruto. I may or may not have said this before, but 60 episodes in, right? So I watched 60 episodes of Boruto.
It's when you get to the tuning exams in Naruto.
Basically, but also at the end of like the 60th episode, Boruto goes, and now this is my story.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the hell have I been watching for the past 60 episodes? Why didn't you just get right into your story? He's like, I don't want to be the Hokage. This is my story about how I become a sidekick. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean...
Incidentally, if we're talking about adults,
Sure.
that was some reckless behavior that they took on those tuning exams. Just inviting, like, known enemies to your home.
Oh, you're talking about in Naruto.
In Naruto.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Because
like,
nothing's serious in Boruto.
hilarious.
Yeah.
They're not even, they're like, why do ninjas exist anymore?
Yeah.
And you're like, it's only been like 10 years since,
They
or
went from
who
lanterns
knows?
to, like, drones.
That's what I'm just saying.
They were based off of fire
way the
and
city-
torches, and then they're playing PSP.
Like, the way that city all of a sudden became a metropolis, I don't know what I was about to say, was crazy. How did we go from the ninja era to literally 2020?
Yeah.
That was insane. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, that was crazy. But I think that was their way of trying to forge relationships, though, too. I am not entirely sure. Or just to be like, if they don't live, they're not the strongest.
Yeah.
And shouldn't be tunings anyway.
Yeah.
Isn't a tuning basically like a brownie in the Girl Scouts or like a cub in the Boy Scouts? Like, that's crazy. Don't be throwing these kids in the woods.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They still need camp counselors.
Yeah.
Or scoutmasters, I guess would be the real term.
My action anime?
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
Actually, all of Dragon Ball.
I actually had one more.
And I read about Dragon Ball Super, too.
I'm only going to say, well, I'm just saying it and then we can get into it more because I totally forgot that
Just say it.
It's Black Clover, baby.
Oh, nice.
I'm Black Clover!
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's that action anime that I haven't watched because I watched, I think, 6 episodes. I normally give every anime like 3 to 4 episodes in order to determine whether or not I'm going to finish out the season.
Sure.
Didn't realize that Black Clover was going to be 9,000 episodes.
Hilarious.
I got 4 or 5 in, and I'm pretty sure it went from him being like this not magically talented person. He goes, finds out how not talented magically he is. He gets in a battle and then screams for 3 episodes. And when he comes out of that, I stopped watching it because he was still screaming.
Hilarious.
Is that not what it was?
I do. It's so funny because I remember when we started it, like we randomly put it on, and then you were like, "I'm out."
Yeah, he was screaming, and I can deal with screaming for multiple episodes because I mentioned Dragon Ball Z just like minutes prior.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that when Goku's screaming, that's him reaching another level.
So funny.
With him screaming, I think a portion of it he was just frustrated with the situation and he was just yelling.
Well, I'll tell you this.
I'm on board with magic!
just blowing out. Basically, I mean, we can totally get more into Black Clover because I will say this. I actually really enjoy it. And it's crazy because I started watching Black Clover before I watched Naruto. But I also stopped watching Black Clover and then started Naruto. And then stopped Naruto, picked up Black Clover again. And now I finished Naruto, and now Black Clover is still going.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the things that I like about Black Clover. 1, they have guilds. Anything that has guilds, big fan of the guilds. So you didn't get to the guilds. The guilds are good.
I didn't get out of the village.
Yeah, oh wow.
I assume they walked out at some point.
They did, actually, literally, like
Next
maybe
episode?
the next episode, because they might only be in the village for maybe 6 episodes.
Episode 1, he's sad. Episode 2, he's screaming. Episode 6, still screaming.
So, but Asta is Naruto.
Yeah.
Black Clover is Naruto with magic.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, honestly, and that's what always surprises me, because so many people who love Naruto are like, I don't really like Black Clover.
I mean, they're both Dragon Ball Z.
But at the same time, I'm like, how do you hate? It's Asta is Naruto. He is, and also Yuki is the Sasuke we wanted.
Oh.
Yes, Yuki is actually, so he's Asta's rival, and but he's not a brooding jackass, and he's not like he actually likes Asta. Even though he actively, like, disregards him a lot. But then...
He's the talented one.
He is the talented one. So, I mean, this isn't... You'll find this out, within the next episode if you kept watching. So, Asta doesn't have magic at all.
Oh, yeah. That's why he was screaming. I remember that.
Yeah, but he was screaming, I don't know, at some point because, I don't know, it unlocked something inside of him. Yeah. And he ended up pulling out an anti-magic sword.
Yeah,
so, he has anti-magic, which is in itself basically a form of magic.
Yeah.
Because he can then cancel out all magical powers thrown at him.
Yeah.
But then he also starts to turn into a demon.
Sure.
So, I don't know. That's sort of where there's a lot that happens in it. It's actually it's very enjoyable, but I kind of felt the same way in the beginning. If you can push past the screaming for about 70 episodes, Asta chills out a little bit. He screams a little less. I feel like there is a point where he stops being so screamy, which I think was the same reason with Naruto, where I was like, I don't know, which is a big part of why I didn't want to watch Naruto to begin with.
Naruto doesn't scream, though.
Naruto's so screamy in the beginning. Once he gets past it, he
screamy?
Just so Naruto, Naruto, believe it, kill me, believe it. I go to Sasuke,
Oh, yeah.
Just so much.
I mean, that's dialogue, though.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I feel like most of Naruto, up until you get into Shippuden, Naruto is so annoying.
Yeah,
and it's so
episodes.
Well, yeah, but I feel like once I don't know.
The tuning exams are cool.
The tuning exams are very cool, and those first few.
And every time that he turns into a young Ninetales, very cool.
And I guess up until Sasuke.
And when he's with anything with Jiraiya.
No, I love those. I don't know. It goes, there's waves. There's literally waves. But it makes me laugh when people are like, oh, I can't watch Black Clover because Asta's too screamy. I'm like, he's literally Naruto. And, of course now, Yuki is, Yuki's somebody else. Is a much more likable Sasuke.
Okay. I think that Yu Yu Hakusho is my other action anime that I really like.
I didn't.
It's such a classic, and I think people should give it a chance. Those were the things that got me hooked on anime back in the day.
Really?
Oh, Spirit Gun! Oh, so sick. And he's such a badass as a main character too. The very, very early on, so the way that he gets his spirit powers is he's this bad guy who, he's rough around the edges. He's like the school bully, essentially. Gets into a ton of fights.
I watched some of this, yeah.
And this little girl is running out and trying to get a ball or something, and a car is about to hit her. And he sees it, jumps out in front of the car, pushes her out of the way, and saves her life. Mm-hmm. Then he dies. And he's like, man, this sucks. I died. And so he gets up, and he meets... it's been a minute, but he basically meets the person who's going to guide him into either heaven or hell.
Sure.
And she's completely unprepared to see him. Because he wasn't supposed to die that way. There was no way that this mean guy was ever going to save a girl. They never saw that coming in a million years.
Wow.
So then they give him a chance to get back his soul can go back in his body.
Yeah.
He has to do a couple of deeds, but that basically kicks it off, and that's how he gets spirit powers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very funny that he did something so uncharacteristic and spur of the moment that even death wasn't prepared for it.
That's fun. That's a cool premise.
Yeah.
That's fun. I should watch Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, it goes right from there to fighting bad guys, and then you're in the longest tournament arc ever. It's the whole... It's now that I think about it, the series is essentially He immediately gets his powers, meets his crew, and then he's in a tournament arc
Yes.
forever.
That's
For 300
hilarious.
episodes. And there's a big, long arc preparing for the tournament. Like, the play-in games are... like, the way he has to power up is a tournament arc in itself.
Yeah.
He's in a tournament arc within a tournament arcception.
Whoa.
That's Yu Yu
But he's
Hakusho.
dead the whole time.
No.
Oh.
No, so he does enough good deeds really early on. I don't think this spoils anything. It's also, I think this thing's 20 years old.
That's hilarious. Yikes, watch out.
Yeah, so I think, he gets his body back. He comes back to life.
Oh,
Pretty
cool.
early on.
Oh, okay. All right. What else you got on your action anime list?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hilarious.
No.
Hilarious.
I want to bring it up every episode. Kaiba? Yeah, that's my goal.
Hilarious. I mean...
I think I'll do an off-the-cuff one.
Sure.
It's also on my list of animes that went, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
Darker Than Black.
Ryan's favorite anime.
He's got a mask. He's got this power. A lot of people have to they have to hurt themselves in order to use their powers.
Yeah.
But it starts off with a bang, and truly, there's 2 seasons about it, and I don't know why, but
That's so
I watched
funny.
every episode because it was just straight up action and in your face.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
I got one. Attack on Titan.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Attack on Titan. Except I'm not fully caught up on Attack on Titan, just because that is
I so regret not bringing up Attack on Titan.
intense. I mean, you can take over and talk about it because
season 3 was a little bit more political than I would have hoped.
that's what do you mean? An actual political or like?
Yeah, you learn the politics of the Attack on Titan
Oh,
world.
I was alright. Okay. I was
Yeah.
like, or political in the sense that it's talking about U.S. government.
No, not at all. I mean it like, it fleshed out the world.
Yeah. Is that boring?
I don't like bringing up Attack on Titan because I have such high expectations of where it's about to go. Like, a lot of people are saying, including myself, I think this is our masterpiece.
Really?
Our perfect... I mean, the fact that you've been able to capture attention with a year or 2 years difference between releases, it's incredible. And then every season's been different.
Interesting.
And shown and added so much to the world. It's crazy at world building. Yeah, I think when it's all said and done, Attack on Titan is going to be on everyone's top 5.
Wow, I
Yeah.
need to pick it back up.
It's a Mount Rushmore.
I think I stopped watching at season 2, at the end of season 2, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know why. There was no particular, other than I just like to not finish things.
Just a year in between the next season. I mean,
Maybe
it's
that
tough.
was why. I don't know. But I just remember Attack on Titan. I remember why I didn't want to start because I was like, ooh, that's a gory anime.
Yeah.
And that first episode is crazy.
Sure.
But I push through. I always kind of push through, even if something's a little too much.
Yeah.
A little too much.
I really like Darwin's Game.
Oh, Darwin's Game is good. Yeah, Darwin's Game is. Ooh, that's a semi-new one too.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, if you're not watching Darwin's Game, we talked about it a little bit in our.
A while back, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess give them that refresher.
Darwin's Game, it's just a gotcha game on your phone that suddenly put everybody in a world where you have to kill each other. It just matches you up with the person that you have to kill, and newbies constantly die because they have no clue what's happening and they think the law matters. Doesn't. You press gotcha, you get bit by a spider. No, by a snake that comes out of your phone.
Yeah.
And you're in it. You're granted one power. It could be worthless, could be not. And that's it.
Yeah, it's good. And also, I mean, the reason that people, because you're like, why don't you just not play the game? Or the reason people stay in the game is because you get a lot of money if you live.
Well, when you're in the game, you're in it.
Yeah, but isn't there a reason? I mean, yeah, you got to keep playing, but I felt like there was another reason though. People were like, why do people continue to play this game? Or
I don't
why
think
do
you
people?
can choose whether or not. If somebody, you can't deny a fight.
I guess not.
I know she stopped the fight because you don't necessarily have to kill your opponent if you're challenging them.
Yeah.
But that was as one-sided as it got.
I mean, the
one in the
appeal
warehouse.
of the game is that there is a lot of money to be had,
Yeah.
and like part of the reason why some of these people, like some people, get blindsided and just join the game and don't realize like, oh crap, my friend sent me a friend request, so I'm gonna play this game.
Sure.
Oopsie. But then some people kind of know what the game is, and they, like the father whose daughter was really sick.
Yeah.
He was playing because he needed money for his daughter, even though every time he plays, he, basically had an opportunity of dying.
I thought Bleach was great.
Bleach is great. I mean, in what sense?
As action.
Oh, it's just a straight up... Yes, I agree. I was gonna have a moment where I'm like, no, I love the captains. I love the squads. I'm gonna tell you, it's taking me back to guilds, squads, teams. I don't know. I'm a big fan of any anime that really kind of like, I guess, focuses on a group of people that that all have different skills. It's another thing about Black Clover. At first, you're gonna find the Black Bulls, some of them very annoying. But then they all grow on you.
Yeah.
And then you tend to like all of them. That's another thing where it's not a bit, but they're also like the worst. They're the worst, not guild. Are there guilds there? Yeah, I guess they're the worst of the guilds or the worst of the teams. And, but Yami, who's the captain, who everybody is like, oh yeah, Yami's the best. He picks each Black Clover, like each person who joins that crew for a very specific reason, and then it turns out they're like, technically they're actually amazing.
Oh, breaking news. Black Clover is a team of people.
Well, Black Clover is it's actually crazy. Black Clover is the name of the land. So it's the kingdom.
Okay.
So it's the Black Clover Kingdom, but then in the kingdom there are different squads. So like you have the Black Bulls who they're like the 7th squad, and then you have oh my gosh, I should have looked up each team's name, because joins, he gets recruited by the best.
Yeah.
Or like the first or the second ranked squad ends up taking Yuno. So Yuno and Asta gets separated because obviously Asta has no power. So everybody's like, I'm not going to take this guy who's got no power, but he ends up defeating. So they basically also do a tournament style fight.
You have
to figure out like, A, where is everybody going to go? And B, out of all the people, even though you made it past a certain level, doesn't mean you're all going to make it onto like a squad. You're going to end up having to figure it out. Oh, knights. I guess they're all different.
I think that's why I liked Bleach, and it gave you a little bit of a reprieve. So Dragon Ball Z somehow always came down to a tournament. It made sense in Dragon Ball because there was the World Tournament, and Goku would go there a couple of times. Why Cell wanted a a makes no sense.
Just to be the strongest.
I mean, he went out of his way to make a facility.
Yeah.
The actual ring itself, and then they instantly flew. What was it for?
That's so funny.
They could have just fought in the area, but it's insane. But Bleach did a really good job of making me care about the opponents that Ichigo was going to fight.
Yeah.
Without having to say that they were ranked this level or whatever. Because anytime that while he was fighting everybody in the Shinigami realm, I cared about those fights. I cared about the Espada a lot. And then when it eventually got to Aizen, all the way through, I cared about all of Ichigo's fights.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just because I wanted him to win anything. I don't even know if he won anything ever.
No, he was having to save.
He was constantly
something. The spirit.
He was
the spirit
constantly
realm,
getting
or
in people's business.
He was, or he was having to save, Orihime, or he had to save Earth somehow, but like that level of Earth. Yeah, no, Bleach.
Bad dad though, because his dad had powers like the whole time.
I know, what was
Couldn't
up
he
with
have
that?
ever participated in anything? How? Your son is going through something that none of his friends can relate to. Well, one of his enemies can relate to, really.
Sure.
And then Chad. Chad's a good dude. Chad was a friend the whole time.
I love Chad, yeah. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about isn't it a dad's responsibility
No, I
to
was
help
just saying, who was his enemy?
the Quincy?
They're frenemies.
They're frenemies, yeah, sure.
They're
But
frenemies.
what I'm talking about is, there's an awkward time in adolescence.
Sure.
And sometimes you need your male father figure to help you out.
But if you become a soul reaper and your dad need to...
You become a soul reaper and your dad's a soul reaper, maybe he says, hey, this is totally normal. There are things... Your sword's going to be massive. Your sword, it's okay if you have a big sword.
That's so funny.
And some people might say it's too much and you can't wield it like that. But,
yeah.
Maybe help him out.
Hilarious.
Bad dad.
I mean... I think that's the anime trope of having some form of a bad dad. Yeah.
Why is that a trope?
I don't know.
Where else do you see it?
In life? I don't know. I'm kidding. I have no idea. In animes?
Yeah.
First of all, My Hero Academia, Deku doesn't even have a dad.
That's just being
Where's
a child of divorce.
Where's his dad at?
Yeah, I don't know. But his dad certainly wasn't telling Deku. His mom was the one that was saying it's okay for you not to have powers, or you just don't have them, I guess. I don't know.
Well, she actually preferred he didn't have the powers.
No, she apologized later.
I know. I'm just saying.
That was a sad moment.
Okay, fine. It was sad.
One Piece.
I love One Piece. I mean,
Action
100% an action anime. I mean, I think my only complaint is, not only, JK,
not long enough. It's not long enough.
It's not
not enough content.
Enough. No, I think I have to, one of the saving graces is how long it is.
Yeah.
Just because... Like I said, I think I actually got a little sad when Naruto ended. Like, when it all went down and it was done, that's how I ended up with Boruto. That's how I so quickly went into the realm of Boruto. And I watched Boruto pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Only because I was bummed out. You know what I also realized?
What?
Every time one of my favorite characters dies, that is actually why I stop watching an anime.
Yeah.
Because, so I'd watched One Piece a couple years ago, up until episode, I almost want to say, I think I'm in the 400s almost at this point.
Nice.
Is that nice? So how long? It hasn't been that long. I think it's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks. That's insane.
It's a great pace.
That's 100 episodes per week.
Yeah.
That's how am I doing it? I'm not. Kind of. I don't know how I'm doing this. But anyway, so I'm in an arc that I actually, I remember a lot of the stuff too, so I'm not paying intense attention to it, so I can still kind of do other things. But then there are episodes where I'm like, holy cow, yup, this is so good. And I'm actually in the arc right now where one of my favorite characters is gonna die.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ooh, am I about to stop again? No, I'm gonna have to push through. But I already know it's coming, so it feels less intense. But I remembered, I was like, why did I stop One Piece again? I ended up watching a few more episodes after that, but I'm pretty confident I was not caught up. There was no way I was caught up even back then.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just realized every time one of my favorite characters dies, I end up taking a long-ass hiatus from that anime. So I'm hitting that same part that I was actually at. But One Piece, yeah. One Piece is good. I mean, Luffy is another one of those characters for me, where he yells a lot, but as the anime continues, he sort of chills out a little. But I think he's meant to be, he's an immature character, and we're actually hitting a point in anime right now. It's the Impel Down arc, if you guys are familiar with One Piece. Where right before you saw one episode after, because you were like, where did everybody go?
Yeah.
Basically everybody gets, at first you kind of go, the first time you watch it, you go, oh my god, did they just kill the entire crew? Because you don't know what happens to them. But one of the 7 warlords, he has the Pawpaw power. And when he touches you, he can send you somewhere. You just disappear, but he sends you somewhere. And that's just where you are. So he basically took the crew. In a weird way, he actually saves the crew. Because the Navy's there, their admiral's there. Luffy in that moment in time, which it's giving me goosebumps talking about it, but Luffy at that moment in time realizes, he actually screams out to the crew, everybody take care of yourself. We're not strong enough. We will lose. Run.
Oof.
And it's, and for Luffy, because he's very Naruto in the sense that very stubborn, thinks, just by wanting to win, you'll win. That somehow you're going to level up and become stronger in that fight. That's how you win. But at that moment in time, like, he knows that they cannot. And Zoro's crazy. Zoro's my boy. Zoro actually continues to fight, and he's like, Zoro, don't do it. And then he touches him, the warlord touches him with his hand, and they don't know what happens, but he just disappears. And everybody's like, no, it's so crazy. It's so good. But like, total goosebumps. It's emotional. Like, I was emotional, and this is even the second time I'd seen this, and I was still like, oh, the crew, these guys. It's worth watching. I mean, they're like, I don't know, I haven't investigated into it the way I did Naruto, where you can definitely skip arcs, where you're like, okay, how much of this do I actually have to watch, and how much of it is important to the story?
What's crazy is that 400 episodes is 8 years worth of content.
That's crazy.
On weekly releases, 52 weeks out of the year, assuming that they never miss one.
Yeah.
And that there's never a break in between, that's 8 years of content that you're in.
That is wild. My God.
In a month.
Quarantine, baby.
You should be like obsessed with these people.
I am obsessed with them, though. It's definitely, I still really want you to.
Luffy.
I want you to get back into it.
I like Luffy
it's
because
good.
he's the type that's overpowered, but from jump. And they know that he's a great fighter, and they acknowledge it right off the bat.
Yeah.
And he kind of leans into that fact too.
Mm-hmm.
Goku somehow always has like an extra level to go up until like later. He just has done it when the holding the Super Saiyan 3 back against that fight against Vegeta was gnarly.
Yeah.
So Vegeta and when Majin Buu gives him this thing that unlocks like the dark power within him.
Sure.
Well, Vegeta only teams up with Majin Buu in order to get this power boost and then fight Goku.
Oh, man.
And so, because he wants to surpass him, and they have this baller fight, which eventually kind of gets postponed. Things happen to Vegeta, won't ruin it.
Yeah.
Because one of the coolest Vegeta moments come out of it.
Sure.
And then later, Goku goes Super Saiyan 3, and Vegeta sees that he was holding back.
No.
I know.
Oh, Vegeta must have been
Vegeta
pissed.
is pure pride. Oh, so good.
I love Vegeta. Vegeta's such a good character.
But you have Goku who he's able to dig deeper for the sake of other people.
Yes.
And then you have Luffy who just kind of knows that he's strong.
But it's his teammate. It's his crew, his nakama, who really do like.
Ichigo just doesn't ever know how strong he is.
Sure.
He keeps finding out that he's stronger than everybody.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's like he's not even looking at his own cards. He's playing Uno, but with his hand down, and he's rolling it out, and he's like, draw 4? Again?
But I also think that Ichigo gets his ass kicked enough, too, to also realize he constantly needs to get stronger.
Does he lose?
I mean, in a weird way, when he's pulling out his, why is it escaping me? When he starts turning to what are they called? Arankars? Not an Arankar. A visor.
Visored.
A vizard.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that kind of him not being strong enough that he has to pull this kind of evil power out of himself to like...
No.
I don't know.
He's only able to do that because I think he's part hollow as well.
He is.
And so every time anything that Ichigo sees, he is in the series of Bleach. I can't wait until we find out what we find out.
You're gonna find out more things. That statement's gonna keep being true.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. Ichigo's everything. Anyway.
So we find out he's whatever that is. Whatever we find out, you guys.
Yeah,
the end.
The only bad part was when he was losing control and he couldn't when he couldn't just put on the mask and power up.
Oh, okay, okay.
And he was letting the dark version of himself actually take over.
Okay.
But everybody has their inner demons, Inga.
Wow.
I'm just letting you know.
And if they help you fight, worth it.
I was just trying to say, like, with Dragon Ball Z, it feels like there's Goku's power-ups, it's intentional, but he doesn't know how strong he can be.
Yeah.
With One Piece, Luffy knows how strong he can be, and he's intentional about it, about improving. Bleach, he's always strong, but completely unintentional about when he figures it out.
Yeah.
It's like this quadrant.
Mm-hmm.
Does this person know he's strong and is strong? This person, like Naruto, not strong in the beginning.
Yeah.
Takes a long time for Naruto to become strong.
Yes. And then once he is, though, it kind of...
That's the redeeming thing. Like, it takes forever, because you're like, Naruto kind of sucks as a ninja.
Yeah,
in the very beginning, but then we figure out all the things that he had to overcome.
Yeah,
kind of like when Eren from Attack on Titan is struggling on the that belt thing, when he's getting trained.
Oh, yes.
And it turns out that somebody was sabotaging him.
Mm.
So, those are all things, and why I think that they're different. I like Gurren Lagann as another action anime.
I still have to watch it.
Oh!
I know.
Gurren Lagann's so good.
I know. What a, blasphemy over here.
Not blasphemy, it's just 26 episodes of something that's really, really good.
I mean, everybody keeps saying it.
Yeah.
So I should watch it at some point.
Distinct action through and through. You're going to want to quit halfway through.
Perfect.
Great. Character you like that is going to die.
That's going to be annoying.
Yeah. But it's all a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Gurren Lagann's a classic good one.
All right, I'm going to have to watch it.
And then Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, Hunter x Hunter was also on my list, too.
Mm-hmm.
I do really enjoy Hunter x Hunter. I think it's crazy. It just makes you go, am I going to start reading manga? Probably not. But, kind of want to.
Probably.
Because you just want to... I would love to see what's up.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of a bummer just knowing that Gon's story is just done. And then Killua is gone, too? That just...
Well, he's gone.
Oh, I mean... All right. But that's just it. But, I mean, I guess it's an interesting... ending. Not ending, but ending for Gon's story.
Yeah, I know that there's more that happens with Kurapika.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's the question is, where does that go? How do they get his powers back?
Yeah. I mean, I know it was...
If he ever gets an end back. I don't think he will.
Really? I don't know. So I ended up watching this really interesting, video essay on Hunter x Hunter. And, how Gon was not it was not the traditional Shonen hero at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes Hunter x Hunter kind of different. Because at first, he seems like it, though, but, he was supposed to be this, very fun and, spirited character. And I'm going to butcher it.
I like the difference, I'm just going to interject one.
Perfect.
Nobody wants Gon doing stuff.
True.
Everybody constantly is looking for everyone's help in those other ones. Everyone's constantly looking for Goku's help. Everyone's constantly looking for Luffy's help and Ichigo's help. Nobody wants Gon to do anything because they don't think he's ready.
Well, I think so basically the takeaway, I'm going to put the link to the YouTube video I'm talking about in the Discord. So you guys, if you want to actually see the guy who did the video, listen to his opinion. It was actually really good. He basically talks about the immaturity of Gon and how the whole time, yes, you're leading up to this, don't become overpowered. He gave up lifetimes worth of, being a hunter or figuring it out or learning his power, really being able to probably do really good things for the world or for whatever. and he gave it up for a minute of vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is generally, very cool, but also the exact opposite of what your hero is supposed to do. And his humanity. He basically at that point shuts down his humanity too. Because up until the Chimera ants, Gon hadn't killed anybody.
Yeah.
You know, and then the first thing he kills is one of those Chimera ants.
Mm-hmm.
And then fights the whole battle, but then once starts with an S, I can't think of his name, but once his dad's friend is killed, Gon is like crazy. And it's crazy because Killua's whole arc is trying to learn how to gain humanity because, you know, his assassination switch was like flipped on. And his whole thing is like him and Gon basically switch places because now Killua has finally found humanity and Gon has just shut his off.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, Killua always... I don't think anyone ever worries about Killua, though, because he is, like, fully conscious of the decisions that he's making. Gon's, like, just... He doesn't understand the depth of the decisions that he makes, and he can't think past a moment.
Yeah, it is very wild. But it's overall, it's
the layers to Hunter x Hunter
Yeah.
are what make it really, really cool.
Yes. It's really good. I mean,
Trunks is my favorite character in Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
Trunks finishes every fight.
Oh, where he actually kills the opponent.
It's like, you have this entire thing on Namek. Goku doesn't kill Frieza. You know who kills Frieza?
Trunks?
Trunks.
Yeah, I have to say that I think every anime character and also a lot of television shows, here comes the plus, baby, The Walking Dead, for example, which I haven't also watched in years. They killed too many people I liked, and I'm like, guys, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
All right? And then I was just like, it's not worth it anymore. But I might come back. We'll see. I think my favorite character is actually still alive. I got to one point where I was like, if they kill Daryl, I'm out.
Yeah.
But now they killed everybody else and not Daryl, and I'm like, I'm out. Because Daryl, I don't know, I feel like he's not as strong of a character when you lose everybody else. But regardless, you end up learning that if you leave anybody alive in the apocalypse or in Dragon Ball Z or possibly, not necessarily, not One Piece so much. I don't know, I can't think.
They finish fights in One Piece?
Luffy's not, kind of. I feel like they gloss over whether they're really killing people or not.
People just stop becoming pirates, like they retire.
They do stop. I don't know how many pirates they've actually like straight up killed, but people definitely die. Like people are dying on One Piece, but not as like quickly. And Luffy's not really like killing them, but I think Zoro is. I'm not entirely sure.
There's the dark side to One Piece.
I was like, I don't 100% know, but I mean, Zoro's over there like doing three sword style. Like I don't know how many people are recovering from his three sword style, but they did have a whole thing with whoever the bad guy of Thriller arc was, or the Thriller Bark arc. And that warlord wasn't dead. But they're like, is he dead or is he alive? And he happened to be alive. So they're like, okay, just as long as he's still alive and they didn't actually kill him. Because we can't have Luffy. Oh, they did kill a warlord.
Nice.
They did. Because they were like, they destroyed him. And
sure.
Luffy can't be killing all these warlords. We got a problem.
Yeah.
Because then the government's like, okay, then he's too strong and we have an issue.
Yeah.
But Luffy does lose. And at the same time, when he starts trying out those bigger moves, they completely destroy him. Like one of them, you think, obviously he doesn't die, but you get really concerned for him because he ends up beating, he killed this character, yeah.
Nice.
He ends up beating this character, and Usopp's like, Luffy, get up, you just won, and the Navy's about to get him. And he's like, you just won, and Luffy's like, I can't move.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't do anything. And, Robin ends up helping him out, but they're just like, throw him in the water, which also, can't swim, and will probably kill him, but they're like, no, just do it. And then it's crazy. The boat saves them. It's very touching, and it's pretty good. You should, if you haven't watched One Piece, watch it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's worth the watch. It's 900 episodes, but you know what? You're gonna learn something.
That's 10 years.
And you're gonna feel really motivated, and
Wait.
you're gonna feel great.
That's 18 years.
Do it at my pace. Just don't sleep.
Yeah, and do it in 3 months.
Do it in 3 months. You got this.
Don't do anything else.
I believe in you. I mean, I really only watch it at night.
And in the day, and that's it.
And like right when I wake up. It's only when I'm watching it. No, I don't know. I mean, it's honestly, the more I watch it, I really am. I am obsessed with it. You're gonna love the crew. You love the dynamic, and I do think out of all of these characters, I think Luffy is the most realistic about knowing when and when not to fight, because they do make it a point to show you there are characters much stronger than Luffy in One Piece, which I don't think you get as much in other animes.
I'm going to touch on it because I know Tower of God does such a great job of setting up power levels.
Ooh.
And that is one of the coolest things, because with Bam, you know that he's right off the bat. He's on the first floor, and they show this badass monster.
Yeah.
And he kind of outsmarts the monster. He's
Yeah.
not like more powerful than it. He's also not more powerful than the administrators.
Nope.
You don't really in that first 13 episodes that you've seen so far.
Yeah.
You don't think Bam's powerful.
No, you're like, this thing. He's gonna.
You
he
think
needs.
Khun is pretty smart. You think
Yeah.
Rak is very
I
strong.
love Rak.
But you also know that there's nothing insane about them. Right now, there's nothing that they haven't had anything that's distinguishing. They haven't really. They just started climbing the tower.
Yeah.
And they're nothing close to what Princess Yuri is. And what's great is, right when you get back, you're going to start seeing them even separate further, which I think is really, really different. Normally, it's this constant, astronomical rise to power that you see these characters go through.
Yeah.
Versus these characters are constantly in fear for their life because they're at their almost stress level for what they're capable of accomplishing with each level. And it gets more difficult as you climb the tower. It's it's a great power structure.
Interesting. That's gonna be
I love
cool.
when there's people who are way too strong. 'Cause power levels it's over 9,000. So power levels and other things are just complete jokes.
That's true. I guess you should pick up One Piece again, because you will.
We should do a deep dive next week.
Hells yeah.
We'll do a deep dive.
How much One Piece can you watch by then?
No, I don't know
Kidding.
who's going to do the deep dive, but we should do a deep dive on an anime.
That's a good idea. Maybe
Focus.
one that's not 900 episodes.
Isn't it crazy to make a commitment via radio?
Or YouTube. But also, you have a say in this. Get on that Discord. Tweet at us. Let us know. We want to hear from you. What are you guys liking? What do you guys want more of? Want less of? I don't know. just tell. What are you watching?
Yeah.
What are you watching? What are you playing? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, let us know in the Discord, because it's lonely in there without you.
Okay.
Anyway, we are hitting about that time. What you watching? What you playing?
What am I watching?
Yeah.
What am I playing?
Yeah, to you, not our listeners.
What am I watching right now?
I mean, I do have something to say.
What are you watching?
Well, I was going to say, so we've been watching Rent a Girlfriend.
I love Rent a Girlfriend.
And we may have hit the point where we can no longer watch this together.
Oh, no.
No, I'm joking. Do you not remember what happened this last episode?
No.
Don't you remember, oh my gosh, wasn't he either having a sex dream about his...
Oh, yeah.
It was like a good 4 minutes.
It's so funny.
Of things that I don't want to watch with my brother.
I'm still watching my teen romantic comedy. That's what I'm watching still.
Like I said, I mean, I brought it up
Thank God, high school.
Oh, I guess
I've
we
been
are
reading
still
webtoons.
watching.
I've been reading webtoons, so I started reading Noblesse, Because I want to put together like a list of introductory webtoons. And I
Great.
feel like Noblesse is the one, Tower of God's one.
Yeah.
If you like romance, Let's Play is one.
Okay.
If you like fantasy, or if you like superheroes, Unordinary, that's the one.
Oh, yeah, I keep hearing about that. I feel like, is that being adapted into an anime?
I wouldn't be surprised. Noblesse is getting adopted into an anime. That
Adopted?
news came out. Adopted into an anime. Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
being
so
adopted.
Noblesse it's funny. It's gonna be curious to see how that adaptation how that gets done, because their content's so short per episode.
Oh, interesting.
Versus if you read Tower of God, and I cannot stress enough, you should.
Sure.
It's so long. If you're reading it at night, it makes you want to go to sleep like during it, not because of the content being slow, just because you're reading so much. It felt honestly like one chapter was almost an entire episode.
Wow.
It might have been 2 chapters per episode.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
I mean, but that's good. It gives you like a lot of content in the old future.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was finishing up Angel of Death.
And rewatching Dead Man Wonderland too.
Oh yeah, Dead Man Wonderland. I don't remember how much I originally watched of it, so for me it's kind of a...
I like it because the main character tells everybody to suck his dick.
Hilarious. Constantly. It's like his face and his voice should not be saying these things.
Suck this dick.
He's like, this game can suck my dick! Suck my dick! So hilarious. Yeah, his face and his actions do not match what he is saying. But that one's actually crazy. Yeah, Dead Man's Wonderland is great. It's
so good.
Gory. They also kill a lot of people up in there. But it's definitely like, if you kind of, what is this? That's the horror anime, right? Horror action anime genre technically. Because I feel like definitely Angels of Death, there's also horror action anime. Yeah, because every level somebody's trying to kill her.
Yeah.
But she only wants to be killed by Zack. That's the whole.
Yeah.
That's her whole end goal. Which I also think is crazy, because like by the end of it, he kind of like is more like friendly with her. So I'm like 1 episode from the end. I didn't play the game though. Apparently the game was on the Switch.
Oh, dope.
Or maybe it wasn't on the Switch, right? Microsoft something. No. It's like it's on the Switch or on the computer. Where you could straight up play the game, but that's another one of those things. It's like Doki Doki, which I haven't played, where I'm just like, do I want to play a game where the whole point is to kill the person you've been the entire time?
Yeah.
Like, does that seem masochistic in some sort of weird way? I don't know. Isn't that like a weird goal?
I don't know.
I mean, obviously you haven't played any of those games. You want to know what was a real disappointment? I was going to play Five Nights at Freddy's. Finally, sure. I was just like, okay, I downloaded this game. I want to play it. I downloaded the VR version.
Brutal.
And let me tell you what, you can't play it without a VR.
Yeah, no way. No way. Now you're one more investment away.
No, do you know that the PlayStation VRs are still like $139?
I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
Anyway, if you put in promotion code Inga...
Could you imagine? I wish. You too can have a VR.
Just put it in.
That's so...
Put it in whatever website you're shopping. Type in promotion code Inga. See if it works. And if it does, let us know.
It's hilarious because in reality, if you go to Udemy or, Udemy or Uniqso for contacts or wigs, and you do put in the code INGAD, you get 10% off.
Oh.
But
yeah.
I don't know, that doesn't help you anywhere else. But could you imagine?
Try for like Best Buy or something.
They're really, you actually owe us money.
You owe me more money.
Yeah, for putting in a dumbass code. That's so funny. Okay. I mean, you got any final thoughts on action? I mean, the nice part about things, I think we went very broad. And I would love to maybe even go start narrowing some of these bigger topics down.
Sure.
Into even years. Like 2010s. Anime?
years and anime.
Years in anime. That's actually ridiculous. But I don't know if you guys have any suggestions of specific animes you think we should watch, or of ones that you haven't heard us talk about that you would like to know our opinion on. Let us know in the comments down below. But again, I'm sorry, final thoughts on action animes or anything we've talked about.
Give Yu-Gi-Oh a shot.
Only the first season. Nothing after the first season. All those other versions are bullshit. That's hilarious. I don't know if I have a final thought on action anime. One Piece is good. Just do it. Just jump right in and do it. Just get on board. Yeah, come on board. We got sights to see.
Oh yeah, sail with me.
Get copywritten right then and there.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, I guess that's it. So you've been listening to Adults Talking Anime Plus. I'm Inga.
And I'm Thor.
And we will talk to you again next week or whenever that is. Bye-bye.